Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee-loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the Other 99%, every seller matters. Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and we're back with another episode of the Other 99%. I am so excited that I have a special guest here with us today, just chatting, and her name actually is Tammy Hudgin. Is that how you say it, Tammy?
It is.
Yeah,
Good
awesome.
job. Most
I
people put an S on the end.
I'm like, I think that's how you say it. It's like, when you meet people virtually, it's so hard because it's not the verbal introduction usually. It's like, okay, I have to read that name, and I'm horrible with names, so I'm glad I got that right. Uh, but I was just saying to Tammy that I think she was like one of my first 100 friends on Facebook. We've known each other that long. And it's crazy because we both started off building our business on Facebook as direct sellers.
Yeah.
So I want to hop over to Tammy and just tell our listeners a little bit about you and your story.
Okay, awesome. And thank you so much for having me. Because, yeah, we've known each other a long time, and it's just amazing to watch you grow. You're just such a wonderful person, and I love you for who you are. So,
Thank you.
what you're doing here, I think is amazing because that is the one thing in direct sales. I would say I have over 20 years experience in the industry, and that is one key element is that we're so focused on trying to be the same or better than the ones at the top. And
Hmm.
it's a very discouraging ladder to climb. And it's okay to not be at the top. It's okay to build a direct sales business that is comfortable for you. And that's how I did it. So, yeah, if we go back, I started in Party Light. I had a break for a couple of years in there, and then I got on board with Leah Sophia. So, for those who remember that company, it was a fashion jewelry company out of the States. I was fortunate to get in about 6 months in when they launched into Canada. So, I was close to being at ground floor, which was a huge opportunity for me. Now, at that time, Facebook launched, which was really kind of cool. And I was sitting on Facebook and I thought, I wonder if I can meet people on Facebook. Because at that time, I had quit my corporate job. I was a stay-at-home mom.
Hmm.
So I was only doing this for part-time. I didn't have a massive network of people. Like, I don't know who wants to buy party jewelry, right? Like, I don't know. And I didn't even wear jewelry, which was quite interesting. And then I became a fanatic about the jewelry. But anyways, so I was sitting on Facebook and thought, there's got to be a way I can meet people. And so I started just poking around.
Hmm.
And, one thing led to another way back when they were called, initially they were called community pages. Then they went to fan pages. And so at that time, which is now a business page, but at that time, it was really about different cities and towns that had pages and you followed them. So I decided to create a business page, a fan page. I thought, why can't I have a page with my jewelry? And that kind of started me. But anyways, fast forward a little bit, I then got into creating a home-based business group. I wanted a place for other small business owners to come or entrepreneurs, direct sales to come and meet and network. And that's ultimately how we met.
Hmm.
And that group, I will be honest and say that that was the changing point for me in that led me to where I am today. But that group truly, unbelievably built my Leah Sophia business for me. Um, and so 6 years in, and this is where I'm going to show you the true power of Facebook.
And just tell the listeners how long ago that was, Tammy. Like, how many years ago was that?
That was like 2008. Oh my
Hmm.
God. I'm 56. So yeah, that was a long time ago. Crazy actually when you think about it, right? So I had spent that 6 years really working Facebook and then, of course, building outside of Facebook. I focused on networking, I focused on selling me, who I was, and building this clientele of customers. when I truly understood the impact of Facebook was when Leah Sophia made the decision to shut the company down. And they told us at the beginning of December. It was very upsetting for many of us who were making a decent income. I was not a top leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I had a large team, quite a large team. And I was doing well financially, but I earned every single trip. That was my goal. My goal for me wasn't about getting to the top and making an income. It was about traveling.
Mm-hmm.
It was the one way I could afford to travel at no cost. So I made sure of earning every single trip. That was my incentive. So for me, that's what success was. It wasn't about getting to the top. But anyway, so the at the end of that month, December, when they shut down, I needed to replace my income, and so I had to jump to another company and jump quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, Leah Sophia, if you guys know, was a fashion jewelry company, inexpensive, very inexpensive. So I thought, okay, the best way to do this is stick with jewelry because I've already built an audience. Um, but I jumped to a sterling silver company. So I went to Tokera.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I don't know if this is the right move because now the cost of the jewelry is double to triple per piece. Do you know at the end of January, I sold $10,000 in jewelry
Wow.
with my new company? And that was from the support of the network I had built using Facebook. People came out in droves because they knew the company Leah Sophia had shut down because everybody was affected by that. And so it was that vibe where people were like, oh my God, at Christmas time, how do you do this to people? And so everyone just came out and supported just for the sake of you. It wasn't about my jewelry. Nothing. It was about the relationships that I had built over those 6 years that they wanted to support me and help me make this transition into a new company. And that showed me that the time I spent on Facebook building was so well worth my time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fast forward through that journey, other business owners started to approach me asking me to teach them how to do what I was doing on Facebook. And I thought that was rather interesting because I'm like, I didn't know I was doing anything, to be honest. Right.
Right.
So I developed a training program and I would go around Ontario and people would bring in like 20, 30 business owners and we'd sit in a conference room and I would teach them for 3.5 hours how to build a business on Facebook back then. And it was simplified because back then it wasn't not where we are today from a competition standpoint, right? So I will be honest and say it was much easier back then. And then through that process, it became very overwhelming for people when they realized that there was a commitment they had to make to this whole Facebook world. And you got to remember, guys, it was just Facebook really back then. It wasn't, we didn't have Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and LinkedIn. So you can imagine where we're at today, how much more overwhelming it can be.
Mm-hmm.
So then small business owners asked if I would do it for them. So to be honest, that's truly my bread and my butter of my business today. I manage other businesses' social media for them. I make sure that there's consistent content going out. I make sure that it's getting shared into groups so that they're being seen beyond their business page. I create their content, their visuals, and that sort of thing. So that's really my bread and butter. And then from there, I offer workshops. I do speaking engagements. So which is my favorite. I love to teach. Teaching is me. So I get out and speak as much as I can, and I work with a lot of different organizations. Even in direct sales, I've had team leaders hire me, and they get me on one of their team meetings on their Zooms, and I do teachings. I show them different tips and tricks on how to get through Facebook or how to do something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I really excel is the teaching element of it, and because it's what I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I've had you come in a couple times for
Yep,
different, I mean, for direct sales. And then I even brought you in when I was working as a physiotherapist
that's
assistant. So
right.
it's like, yeah, it's crazy because we use it in every business. Like
Mm.
I really struggle with the fact, that people say you can't build your business online. You have to get back,
Mhm.
you have to get offline and back in person because that's the only way to do it. No, if that's your calling to do it in
Mhm.
person, then that's where you go. But if you have the love for the virtual side of things, you're living proof that you can
Oh,
build your business on Facebook. And I still remember that pivot that you made from Leah Sophia. And I remember you calling your page, it was like what was it?
I was an FB nobody. I
Yeah.
was because I couldn't use the word Facebook
Yeah.
in the name. So yeah, I was an FB nobody. That was the
Yeah.
name of my business.
And it was crazy because it's true. Because when we
Mhm.
first met, it was like, okay, you were just Tammy, the Leah
Mhm.
Sophia lady, and we swapped parties, and that's how we got
That's
to know
right.
each other. And
So
then
true.
and then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, okay, Tammy, come and teach us everything that you know about Facebook. And
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Tammy is the one who's taught me, and there's still so much for me to learn. But
Yeah.
make sure you do this and this on your personal page because you don't want people to see this and you don't want them to have access to this. And the one thing that I really remember you telling me is to put that, and I don't know what the proper terminology is, but basically put it where you have to approve anybody who's tagging you, so it just
Oh,
doesn't flood your feed with like all these things because you don't know what people are tagging you in.
mhm.
Like, you're running a business, you want to be a reputable person, so you don't want all these tags. You need to be able to go in and say, okay, yes, I want that seen by my public.
Exactly. You have to have the control. It's yours. And if you don't have the control and you allow others to have that, then they're publishing content out to your friends, right? So yes, in the if you go into your settings and privacies, and you'll find it then under the privacy tab. So settings and privacy, then privacies. You're going to look for a feature. It's under I'm now drawing a blank on the top of my head, and I can't believe that. I want to say it's under the notifications tab. But what you're looking for actually is the statement that says approve posts before they appear on your timeline. You want to make sure that that is checked off. And if it is, so let's say when Lisa and I finish this conversation, and Lisa goes and writes a post and tags me in it, it will not go out to my friends or followers until I physically say it's okay. So I'll receive a notification to say Lisa has tagged you. Click here to review. You click it, you go in, you read what they wrote, and then you go, yeah, I'm good with that. And you can say add to profile. Otherwise, those people who are tagging 50, 60 people in a post, and you're one of them, those are the posts that are going out to your friends and your followers. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
huge,
And I
huge.
think a lot of people don't realize what others are able to make your people see
Hmm.
through Facebook. So it's
Yes,
it's something that you really want to be mindful of. What is
absolutely.
on and how many people I wonder actually go and look at their personal feed on Facebook to see what's actually there, because I know that there's the option where you could go in and view as the
Hmm.
public, right? So you
Yep.
can see what everybody else is seeing. And I highly recommend taking a look at that every now and then, just so that because you might have a setting off where you might want to
Hmm.
keep certain things private and you have it open to the general public. And I mean,
Exactly.
with myself, I have a digital creator account, so I have
Yes.
like a fully like I'm an open book type thing on Facebook,
Yeah,
right? So you need to be
exactly.
careful of what people are seeing. There are some
And
strange people
that's,
out there, right?
oh, well, and here's the other thing, especially like you said, you have the digital creator profile, which I do as well. And at that point, anyone can follow us. Well, anyone can follow you, however, you can change your settings on that.
Hmm.
But as a digital creator page, that's the whole point. We want the followers because it allows us to grow beyond 5,000 friends,
Hmm.
right? Like I have 5,000 friends, but my total followers is like 8.3 on my personal, right?
Hmm.
So the problem is anyone can follow you at that point, and anything that you put out publicly that you may not even realize you put out publicly. Anyone can see. And we all know at least once a week, you're going to wake up that morning and the bots will have been working, and you'll have about 10 to 20 new friend requests or followers
Mm-hmm.
that are from the fake accounts, right? We go through it all
Mm-hmm.
the time. So I think it's important that, yes, on a regular basis, you should be doing the view as. And for those who don't know where this feature is, you're going to go to your personal timeline. Underneath your cover photo, you'll see three dots to the right. You're going to click on those three dots and you'll see the option that says View As. And when you click on it, it shows your profile from a public standpoint. So now you can scroll through and be able to see what the public is seeing. And if there's something there that you go, what? Then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go and you're going to either delete it or you're going to change the privacy setting on it so that the public doesn't see it. So get in the habit of doing a view as every couple of months. Just click the button. It's so easy to do. And if you do it every couple of months, then you only have to worry about what's popping up at the top.
Yes, that's such great advice because I know I check that frequently and it's like you'd be surprised at what's there
Mhm.
and yeah, you want to be cautious of what everyone gets to
Yeah.
see.
Now, another little, so I have these, I guess I'm just anal, I don't know, but because I've been using Facebook for so long and I cannot afford to ever lose my account. So knock on wood, I'm knocking on wood. I have these little things that I do on a regular basis just to make sure that I'm keeping myself as safe as possible. So since flipping over to a digital creator profile, and now that you can have anyone following you, every single morning I go to my personal timeline, I click on my friends tab. Once I click on that, I then click on the followers tab. And at the very top will be the most recent followers. And I go through and block every single fake account. And
Mhm.
because I do this daily, I'm only having to do two or three at a time. So I know I've done this. Like my profile is from a following standpoint. There are no fake accounts following me because I've gone through the entire thing and cleaned it up. So now moving forward by doing it on a daily basis, it's only taking me about a minute to clean up those followers and I can feel safe that they're not going to scam me or duplicate my account or hack my account.
See,
So another little anal thing to
but
do.
that's a great tip and something now I've just added to my to-do list. Thank you, Tammy.
Right. Yeah, like I just have these. Here's another silly routine. I think this is about building relationships, but no matter what, every morning I do. And if I miss it in the morning, I make sure I do it by the end of the day, but I do all the happy birthdays. Always, always, always. Go to your events tab, click on the birthdays and do your birthdays. People love to see a birthday message. It's just who we are, right? So that's part of my daily routine as well.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question here.
Yep.
Is that doable on your phone?
Yes. So it took me a while to figure out how to get to a birthday tab. If
Okay.
you actually open your phone app and go just in the Facebook search and just type birthdays, the
Okay.
app pops up right inside Facebook.
Ah,
It's the
okay.
first thing it
Okay.
pops up. You tap it, and there's your list of birthdays.
Yeah, because I don't usually get on my computer until probably midday. So I do
Mhm.
everything from my phone. And I haven't been doing that
Mhm.
because it's like, I can't find the birthdays here. It's like,
Right?
where are they?
Yes, it took me a while to find it. And I thought, so one day, excuse me, I just decided to type the word birthdays and see if it came up. And I'm like, oh, there's the app. So there you go.
It's so funny because anytime I have a question about Facebook, it's like, hey, Tammy.
You're not the
Because
only one. And you
because
know
I
what? I
know.
love it. I love it because it also helps me learn. So if you ask me a question, because Facebook, as we know, changes consistently. And if you ask me a question that I'm unaware of, at least it gives me the opportunity to go and learn. And now I have a new piece of information that I can educate my audience with. So I appreciate, and I'll be honest, I get a few messages a day on Facebook with specific questions and is this true or how do I do this, and so and I don't mind, I really don't mind. It just helps me keep my knowledge where it needs to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, a question for you, because I know our listeners will want to know this. Probably we have a lot of people who are at entry level direct
Mhm.
sales listening to the podcast, what piece of advice can you give them that they can do that's going to help them build their audience? Because I know because I see it, I hear it all the time. When they're brought on to the into the direct sales business, they're just told, "Well, just take my content, copy it and paste it into your own and you'll be fine. You'll sell." And I know
No.
for a fact that that's not true.
Yeah.
So, I want to hear from the professional, the pro. Tell us.
Yeah. So what I learned right from the get-go, because I didn't know anyone, I truly didn't, and Facebook was foreign. And I don't know whether it was part of my characteristic, my personality, whatever it might be, but way back then, I said to myself, the only way that I'm going to get people to buy jewelry from me is if I get them to like me. If I can focus on selling Tammy, and for those that don't know, my tagline is creating your presence. I felt it was important that if I could sell Tammy, if I could take what I knew and educate others and sell my personality, sell my humor, sell whatever, just sell Tammy, then that's how I was going to build. So I know that we are trained in direct sales. There's a template, a cookie cutter system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the problem. Everybody's doing it. So everybody's doing the exact same thing. Now, if I think about the number of people who private message me from direct sales company cold calling, cold messaging, okay? Personally, you're either going to, depending on what you're trying to sell me, guys, do your research before you send a message to anyone. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. I recently went through an illness that caused me to lose 40 pounds very quickly. A lady messaged me and offered me to join her 30-day weight loss program. I was as polite as I could be in my response to her, but basically saying to her, your best bet is to do your research first because I'm the last person who needs to lose weight. I need to put weight on. So that's my first advice. Please don't cold call with these cookie cutter messaging systems that say, hey, it's okay. I can do a hard sell and send messages to 30 people who I have no idea who they are. I have no idea. I've got them on my friends list, but I've never had a conversation with them. But I'm gonna send them a hard sell message and they're gonna buy from me. No, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So focus on selling you, start work. So to build your audience, okay, I go against the grain with everything. For those that know me, I'm not about jumping in with, well, depending on what it is, I do jump in with both feet, but uh, um, I believe in organic growth. So keep that in the back of your mind. You're not going to grow quickly overnight. If you are trying to grow your friends list or your followers on your business page, okay, we'll talk both as being the same. If you're trying to grow it and you're really hard selling, so all your content is selling hard, 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 hard. Buy this, book a party here, boom, 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 boom. Most people are going to start unfollowing you or hiding you in their news feed. So you've just defeated the purpose. All this work you've done is not going to get you anywhere. So you can grow, but let it grow naturally, let it grow organically. There are some phenomenal groups on Facebook that networking groups, I'm not talking about groups where people are promoting their business. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
stop for a minute and go, okay, I'm not going to think about a hard sell right now. I'm going to think about just focusing on, who I am, what I love doing, the knowledge that I have. So if I join a group that has some, uh, I'm going to say women, because majority of the networking goes on with women. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to join a group that is all around networking. And I'm going to get into that group and I'm going to pay attention. Who are my key players in the group? First off, your admin. You better know who the admin are because if whoever is an admin, odds are they've built a network. All right. I'm all about being strategic at the same time, guys. So, who's built networks? So the admin will have done that. They're already leaders. If they've started a group, and they are successfully building it, they are leaders. So I want to build a relationship with them, because if I can build a like, no trust factor with them, then that opens me up to their audience. And if I can truly build that type of a relationship, I bet you I can get her to interview me on a collaboration of some sort, whether it be for her team, whether it be for her organization, whether it be for her group.
Mm-hmm.
I get an opportunity now to present myself to her and say, hey, can I offer? So let's talk Epicure, for example. Okay, so you guys do meal plans,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why not put together a nice little uh, I can't even think of the word now. I don't, because workshops in my head, a nice little presentation in talking about a 5-day meal plan for busy moms.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into those groups where those type of audiences are sitting, get in with the admin, offer to do a collaboration with them, whether it's, like I said, in the group, whether it's off on, whether you guys do it as, inviting people to a workshop environment, whatever it might be, and get yourself in front of people and educate them. By educating them, you sell your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The key is selling your knowledge. You do not have the same knowledge as the other epicure person. You do not have the same knowledge as the other jewelry person. You will all have the base knowledge, but what you do with that knowledge becomes who you are,
Mm-hmm.
because it's how you sell that knowledge that your base has been provided. Epicure provides you, Peppered Chef, they provide you with base. So why not take that and make it you? Because let's say Epicure is having a sale, and they go and I know we've probably gone on another tangent over here. Sorry, guys.
That's
But
okay. It's all
they
good
do
stuff.
they do a post on the business page. 95% of the Epicure reps worldwide are going to take that content, copy and paste it on their business page and potentially on their personal, which means it will produce how many social media posts in identical content. So when someone searches Facebook, do you think your content is being found? No, you're just blending in with everybody else. So take the content and rewrite it. I don't know how you guys feel about chat AI. I know that's a controversial
Love
issue.
it. Love it.
Okay, but hey, let's be honest. Take that content, paste it into chat AI, and ask it to rewrite it. Do you want it to have a little bit of a fun flair to it? Ask it to rewrite it and add some fun element. Ask it to make it funny. Ask it to jazz it up. Give it the flair of you. And now you have a social media post that is nowhere like anybody else's. And your visual, take the visual and recreate it or drop it on a new one.
Yeah, I just showed in my digitally direct Facebook group a little video on how to create like an image
Right?
using word swag in like two
Seconds.
seconds. And it's like, stop copying and pasting
Yeah,
these images and just using them, because that duplicate content is doing no one any good,
nothing.
because not only is it not getting your post seen, but it's penalizing the initial poster too, because it
Absolutely.
like it takes their credibility away as well. So
Mhm. And
yeah.
algorithms, all of a sudden, you got to think about algorithms. Most people don't really, but all of a sudden, with that many posts out there, it's considered spam.
Hmm.
Um, Back in the day, I think it was It Works. I'm pretty sure it was It Works that it happened to. No, it was not It Works. Well, they've been banned from using their link, but no, it was a sale. 31. It was 31. They had this big spring sale. Oh my gosh, everybody used the exact same content. Do you know Facebook? So every single piece that went out, because people were posting about it and taking screenshots, everything got banned, and every single 31 reps website link, Facebook banned it. So they
Wow.
couldn't even put their shopping link out because there was such this mass amount of exact identical content that the algorithms picked it up from a spamming element. So be different. Who are you? Show you. What are your colors? Right? Like, do you have to stick with Epicure brand? Do you have to stick with Pampered Chef? I think you only have to have their logo, most likely, right? You
Yeah.
probably have to put their logo on everything.
I'm a
Re
big believer that we have to brand ourselves. We're not our company. I'm
Absolutely,
I'm Spice It Up with Lisa Duck. I'm not
right?
Epicure.
Leah
Like,
Sophia, I was a finishing touch.
yeah.
I never used Leah Sophia in any of my business name, right? On my page, on my advertising, right? I only used Leah Sophia to say it was a product, but I didn't use it as part of my business name. It didn't come with me that way.
I try to tell people, and you'll probably agree with this, you're better off to take a picture holding that jar of Epicure, like a selfie of you holding that jar,
Absolutely.
than to post some stock photo that the company has given
Absolutely.
you.
Right? Or take a quick little video. If you can make a quick little, let's say it's a new lemonade that's coming out for the spring.
Hmm.
Do a quick video and make it.
Hmm.
Use that as your visual. Now you're different than the 95% of reps out there that are posting the exact same image, the exact same written content. Bring
Yeah.
you into it. If you have children, and you're okay with your children being part of it, bring your children. And what are their favorite items? What do they love? Do they love helping out in the kitchen? If they do some videos. Get the kids on video. Who doesn't love watching kids in a video, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
really just take your life, look at who you are, what you represent, all your hobbies. If I love to do photography, how can I bring photography into selling my Epicure business? Really?
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Like that's so easy for me. If I did, let's say I was also um, doing like imaging, fashion
Hmm.
and or image consultant. I can easily incorporate Epicure product into my image consulting business and bringing the two elements together in some type of a visual that's showcasing what I'm wearing and
Hmm.
putting together. But I got here because I'm on a meal plan. I'm eating nutritious meals from Epicure. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
So bring your life into this and educate people. You're not going to know everything. Okay. Lisa and I were talking about this earlier in regards to a health and wellness industry or a product. And one of the things that we were talking about is the fact that I may love the products I use from a supplement standpoint, but when I dive into trying to learn about the ins and outs of it from what it's doing, like to my organs and my body and stuff, I'm done. Like I'm lost. So it's going to be very difficult for me to sell that part of the business. So instead, I need to focus on selling my story, my
Hmm.
personal journey. That's what I focus on and what it's doing for me. Right. So, what is Epicure doing for your family? What's it doing for you? What are the changes it's done for you? Did it give you some financial success? Did it allow you to go and travel? Right? Those are the things you can sell. And when you sell that, people want to be part of it. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, I can honestly tell you that when I see a post come out from a friend, because I've been building so long, someone that's been part of my network for at least 10 years, where they're so close to earning an incentive and they only need, I'm an order. That's just a guarantee. If I see that post, I'm clicking the link and I'll spend on average $30 to $50
Hmm.
and I will help them get to their goal. I
Yeah.
may not need the product. I may choose to buy something to give it as a gift
Hmm.
because I don't need it, but I will support them because I'm like, oh my God, they're so close to winning. I got to help them. I got to help them get that trip. And that's what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
building a like, no trust factor. It's building a relationship and you will grow. You will grow organically. People always say to me, how many people do you have in your newsletter subscription? I'm like, I don't know, 300 and something. They're like,
Yeah.
what? And I've been
Yeah.
doing a newsletter at least 10 years. Well,
Yeah.
because I don't advertise it. I just let it grow organically. I have
Hmm.
a blog. I don't know if you guys aren't following me on Facebook. When you do, you'll see it. So when you're on your personal timeline, and I've done this both on my personal and my business page, but on your personal timeline, just under your profile picture, you have a intro. The intro is defaulted to be public. You cannot change the privacy settings, and it's limited characters. That's where my sign up is for my newsletter. That's the one place. It's always there. It says, hey, sign up for my monthly newsletter for tips and tricks with a link. Okay, that's where my newsletter signups come from. I'm okay with them growing organically because I don't get unsubscriptions. So
Hmm.
I keep my rate grows slowly, but it grows. But I'm maintaining about a 63% open rate. I'm a
Yeah,
happy
you're
camper.
bringing in the quality leads.
Right.
Yeah.
I am not about numbers in the regard of I have to get to a certain following or I have to get a certain number of subscriptions. I'm more about quality because if I get quality people, then they're going to tell their friends and
Hmm.
family about me,
Yeah.
right? That's what I want to happen.
Yeah. So I know that we could probably go on
I
and
know.
on forever talking about Facebook because
Yes.
Facebook, let's face it, I mean, as a business owner, Facebook is a big part of our lives, right?
Hmm.
Especially if we're trying to run our business online. So
Absolutely.
I'd love for you to tell our listeners where can they find you? How can they find you?
So I'm easy to find because nobody else in the world has my name. I get so excited when I get to say that. So if you just look for Tammy Hudgin, Hudgin, you will find me. There's no S, there's nothing like that. It's Tammy Hudgin. And in brackets on Facebook is Bryden. I did put my maiden name. My business page is also Tammy Hudgin dash creating your presence. But again, if you just type in Tammy Hudgin, you should
And I'll
find
make
me.
sure that I post the links
Awesome.
in the show
Yeah.
notes so they'll be easy to find. But
And I do have a support group. So it's called Creating Your Presence. As you can see, I try to keep things
hmm.
all the same. So you're more than welcome to join that group. I don't, it's rare that I promote in there. I will talk about when I have my workshops, but other than that, it's educational. It's a place for you guys to come and drop your questions, and it benefits everyone else to learn at the same time. So feel free to join that community as well. And just, you know, even if you're just lurking, sitting in the
Yeah.
background and just reading, or you can participate and ask me anything you want.
Lots of great info comes through there. It's like
Thank you.
I see posts and it's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Like, okay, save that post for later so I could go back and review it.
Love it.
So I always ask our guests, if there's one piece of advice or a quote that they might have that they feel that, would be beneficial for direct sellers to know. Do you have anything to share?
Yeah, and I know I mentioned this throughout our conversation today, but I can't help but reiterate the importance of focusing on selling you. Create your presence. Who are you? Focus on that, guys. I promise you, if you just remember who you are and let people see you, you will build your business much, and I'm not going to say quicker because it's not about being quick. It'll just be more quality. I don't even want to use the word quality, but there's more value in it than
Hmm.
just trying to do the cookie cutter system and doing these cold calls, cold messaging, and doing hard sells all the time. There are ways to be strategic and get your business out there. I do it all the time. I am selling almost daily, but most people don't know that. So there's ways to do this that you can sell and be just real and genuine. Just be you.
Yeah. I mean, you're living proof that you can build a great
Mhm.
business virtually. And if somebody is looking to up their game on social medias, particularly Facebook, I mean, I would highly recommend them chatting with you, finding you,
Thank you.
consuming all things Tammy on Facebook because there's lots of value there. I know that
Thank
you
you.
do have an upcoming course,
Mhm.
but it may have already started by the time this airs. But I mean, you always post that info. You
I'm
always post
always
that
running
info in
it.
the groups. So
Yeah, it's about every 12 weeks I launch this particular program. So the next one will be
perfect.
coming around probably around April. April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all things Facebook. So
Yes.
definitely worth looking into. So get in and connect it with Tammy on Facebook to find out when the next session is coming. But Tammy, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure that we're going to have people who are going to be rewinding and replaying this episode because you have shared like quite a few little tidbits in there for
Thank
free.
you.
So I really appreciate you sharing that with our listeners. And I just wanted to say if you're listening to this podcast and you have a minute, please take some time to rate and review. I would love to see your comments, whether you're loving the content. And thank you again, Tammy. And we will see you guys soon. Bye now.
Thank you.
If you would like to be a guest on the podcast or know someone who would make a great guest, visit lisaduck.com and click the link to be a guest.